So Meta decided to delete my Instagram account, and this is exactly what I'm going to do about it. So I moved to France a couple of weeks ago, south of France. We're just in Nice on the French Riviera. This is now, what is it? That was middle of June 2026. It's now early July 2026. And whilst I don't use Instagram massively, it doesn't support my business, I still did build up a following that I thought was credible. You know, I had loads of people that were collaborated in my posts, people like Dan Priestley, Dan Henry, Simon Squibb, Simon Alexander Ong, Robin Waite, some really cool people that really added credibility to our brand. And yeah, day I landed, they decided to delete the whole thing. Now I was on the phone with them for a couple of days. We paid for the blue tick on Meta. The only reason I paid for it was not for the tick, it was because you get more support. So I could actually get on the phone with a real person, not just an AI bot that was not helpful. So spent the first day on the phone with them, and they said, yep, it was their fault. Their AI is being a bit harsh on who they delete and why, and they didn't really have a reason. So they said if I ring back the next day, they'll refer me to someone else. As soon as I got on the phone the next day, which was the Saturday, they said, there's nothing we can do. We're going to leave it deleted. I spoke to a supervisor and they said, we really can't go against the AI's decision. That's policy-wide across Meta. So it's gone forever. Not great news, quite annoying. Loads of people said they could help. So I'm in a few mentorship groups. You know, some are tens of thousands of dollars a year. So there's some really cool people in there that are making an awful lot of money. And the reason I'm in there is obviously to learn how to build my business faster and more effectively, but also because it helps solve problems like this. And there was people in there who knew guys who could get the Instagram back for £5,000 or £10,000. But to be honest, I just didn't think it was worth it. Like I say, it's good for credibility, but actually we're telling our clients to take action and to, you know, build from scratch sometimes. And I just thought it's actually a really good thing for me to do, just to take the opportunity. Because as soon as the Instagram went, I realized just how valuable it was, but also I realized the amount of skills that I just didn't have because I'd never used it. Never really used short form video, never really relied on long form content, or not long form content, but I guess never really relied on face to cam content. It was always podcasts where there was like a camera in the corner. You never really thought about it. Interview style content, I guess. So in my head, long form, but then cut up for short form. So what I actually saw when Meta said this account is gone is a massive opportunity, not only to learn the skills, but also to show our clients and myself just how our philosophy, I guess, can work across short form content. The way of building a business can work across short form content. So I thought I'll build it in public. And the way I started doing this was I worked really hard on an AI prompt that you can use on Claude or ChatGPT. I used it on Claude, and this AI prompt is really reliable. I've used it with quite a lot of people now inside the business. It interviewed me on my life experience. I didn't really know where I should go with my content. You know, I know that as I post on LinkedIn, I can get attention from paid ads. I can get attention from the podcast and networks, but short form content I thought was completely different. So the way I've done it, I don't know the algorithm as well, just to add. So the way I've done it is I got AI to interview me on my life experience. So everything that I already do, everything that I already know, my skills, my education, my past experiences, my client results, literally everything. I then told it my offer, and I said to it, okay, I need to be selling something that is at least £3,000. That's how we operate in our business. There's nothing for sale for less than £5,000, but £3,000 seems like a good place to go if you're going to be received by a wider audience. And it interviewed me, and it brought out some really, really cool things that I thought would be really valuable to people that might want to follow me. And that was the idea, to sort of put together a system of who exactly is going to follow me, and then what can I give them? What value do I actually have that I could give to people? So this is sort of the process that I'm working on, and I wanted to share with you today. So the first bit, wait for that car to get past. Oh, and a man in a French white van. I wanted to talk to you about what I'm doing. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm speaking to one person. So not just one person that I have in my mind, not just like an avatar. Literally, I have a client in mind. I know exactly who this person is. We've worked for a number of months, and she's had amazing results. and I'm speaking to her. She's one of my favorite clients to work with, and I'm literally speaking to her in all of my content. So every time I write something down, every time I write a note down in my Obsidian or in my content plans, it's always with this person in mind. And apparently the algorithm likes that, because if you speak to one person, presumably, well, this is how I imagine it's working. This is how I'm seeing it working in my own content. Bearing in mind, I've only gone from 0 to like 100 followers. But what's more interesting is we've already closed 2 sales from it. So this is where I'm getting my data from. So £15,000 worth of sales from 2 weeks organically with, I think, 25 posts and 100 followers and over 100,000 views. The algorithm seems to like the clarity of speaking to one person and being super clear on, this is their problem, this is how you are credible, and then this is how you can help them. So looking at all the data, and the data's been tracked, it seems to be that the things that go and do quite well are the reels or the posts that speak to that problem and that people can then share or watch for longer. So I currently think, this is my working hypothesis, that watch time and specificity of who you're talking to are the metrics that are growing an account. So obviously if you want to go viral, you want saves, reposts and shares. But I think if you want the algorithm to push you in front of the people that are actually going to buy from you, it's specificity and then watch time. Oh, I tripped over, brilliant. The next thing we're doing that I think is super valuable is we're tracking all the data. So every single bit of data you can get out of Instagram is being tracked, just in a Google Sheet, to be honest. The good thing about a Google Sheet though is with Claude Cowork, you can link it together. So whenever you're speaking to Claude about, review my data, look at my weak spots, I made a sale from this reel, why do you think that is? It has live data to tell you this is why, this is what it can spot. That's really interesting. So like I say, tracking every single bit of data, but then again, trying to speak to that one person and making sure that when you do speak to that one person, there's a reason behind it. Now, I'm not saying I'm very good at this. I'm just saying what I'm trying to do and what is working so far. And it's a build in public, right? It's live, it's happening right now. You can go and watch and see what I'm doing. The next thing that I'm doing is I'm getting support from some of the people I think are the best in the world at growing businesses with short form content. So I won't tell you who these people are because I don't think it's fair to them, but these are a couple of people who are in Australia and they are responsible for probably the most viral company in the world in the last year and a half. Still viral now. They've single-handedly got this business to an incredible place, and it's not even their own business. That's the main thing. This is effectively a client result I'm referring to. So I haven't fallen for marketing. I've literally I've watched this business grow, found out who was doing it and who was behind it, and then started talking to those people. So get support from the absolute best people you can. And then the final thing is I'm optimizing for sales. I'm also getting a tiny bit lost in Nice. Mountains on the left and behind me, so I'm assuming the sea's on the right, and then I'm going towards Monaco, albeit quite far away from Monaco. So yes, last thing is I am optimizing for sales. So I haven't optimized my bio to say, I'm trying to do this, buy from me. But I have optimized so that I have only one person in mind, and that one person has quite a clear understanding of how I could help them and what I've done in the past to give me credibility of why you should trust me. So in my mind, or in the data, what we're doing is therefore optimizing for sales, because people can only follow me for one reason. Like if they're not interested in what I'm trying to do, which is monetize a skill for my clients and for myself. Oh, old school British Mini. There's literally no point in following me because there's a tiny bit of lifestyle stuff in there, but it doesn't convert very well. Watch time is better, but the actual person it brings in and the quality of conversation and all the other things we want in terms of, or to get to a sale, are not very good. So there we go, there we have it. Let me do a summary in my little book. So I've got use AI to interview yourself on a life experience, Speak to one person, previous client, if at all possible. The algorithm seems to like that as of mid 2026. Track every single bit of data in a Google Doc, get it linked to Claude so that you can actually have meaningful conversations based on data, not based on it trying to guess what's going on. Get support from the best. So if you know anyone who has blown up on any of these platforms, but I will caveat that with blown up and made money, and not from selling how to blow up on a platform. Like they have to actually have built a business. And then finally, optimize for sales, not views. So do not go in trying to be like, you know, copying all the trends, following most viewed reels, trying to go viral, because what happens is you get in front of the wrong person. And there's one video on my account which is rubbish. It's got like 100,000 views. It's me doing a half Ironman in the gym in Dubai in like Feb this year, and it's got like 3,500 likes in the last week. But what that means is when someone follows me from that video, you can track the follows per reel, they're following me because they think I'm like a triathlete, they think I'm an athlete. And clearly, when they stay and I post the next day, they realize that I'm not, and then they unfollow. So that kind of video is not worth archiving or deleting, because it's kind of good to have that kind of numbers on there, but it's not optimizing for sales, so I won't do it again. That is exactly how I am growing my Instagram, and I'm thankful that they deleted it in the first place. So stay tuned as we keep going, and I'll keep you updated on how much money it makes me.